Now, next, I'd like to bring up Mr. Doug Hodges. Doug has a cold, so if you try to shake his hand, he's going to back off a little bit out of a courtesy to you because he has a cold and he's been battling that the last couple of days. He's up with us from Durham, North Carolina. His nonprofit is SwingPals. Doug is also a PGA professional, and this year received an award that he couldn't receive yesterday, but he'll tell you about that. Doug, if you don't mind, I'm going to perhaps embarrass you, and if I say something that's out of line, then just snatch the mic and we won't talk. So you heard yesterday about nonprofits and the plight of nonprofits in the golf space, especially those that are serving underserved communities like Doug does, okay? You heard about the Grassroots Grants Program. The Grassroots Grants Program came out of these discussions. As a result of the discussions we had at the Diversity Roundtable years ago, we decided to contact the commissioners, PGA, LPGA, PGA Tour, PGA of America. And we had a conference call. When I say we, it was myself, Mark Lowry, who is in the room today with National Golf Player Development Foundation, Craig Kirby, who is here. Of course, Craig is holding court as he normally does, and Dr. Michael Cooper. We had about a 45-minute session with the commissioners on a Zoom call to explain to them why financial support for nonprofits is needed in addition to what they're doing for the first tee. As a result of that, we have, they did establish the Make Off Your Thing Grassroots Grants Program, and I'm proud to say 3 years later, we've handed out $2.5 million as a result of that program. We don't know how much we'll have this year to hand out, but we will be handing out some money. So just want to tell you the power of us coming together, whether it's 10 or 100, it doesn't matter. Every one of us can do something. Now with Doug, along those lines, SwingPals is having a fundraising drive right now. As I mentioned, Doug is the founder, CEO, executive director, chief bottle cook, and bottle washer as well, too. He does everything. But here's one thing. I want you to listen to me closely here. On this fundraising effort, of the first $125,000, this gentleman is matching dollar for dollar every dollar that's given to the campaign. He's taking matching out of his own pocket. I give to you Mr. Doug Hodges.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. Mr. Beatty, I appreciate those kind words, and thank you very much for that introduction. And thank you for your service in being on our board and helping me lead SwingPals. So it's a real privilege and an honor to be here to speak about SwingPals and to talk a little bit about the work that I do in Durham, North Carolina. You see on the screen there, that was my very first class in 2010. That was in Southeast Raleigh. Those young ladies now are 25 and 26. I didn't follow them after that first class because we moved the program from Raleigh to Durham in 2012. But when I look at that picture and I see those lovely young ladies, our job, all of our jobs, is to provide an environment, a safe environment for young people to be able to feel valued and respected and to be able to grow to lead happy, healthy, and productive lives. And that is the vision of SwingPals, and that is my commitment. I'm a golf professional. I'm a member of the PGA, but golf was not my first career. In fact, I didn't actually get into the PGA until I was 48 years old. You know, a little bit about me. I came to the States in 1980. I had $100 in my pocket. I didn't have a ticket home. And truth be known, I was probably running away. I landed in Boston, $100, no ticket home, no job. And as luck would have it, I ended up a couple of years later on the floor of the Commodity Exchange in New York City. And You know, a fun story there. Anybody in the room here, anybody seen Trading Places, the movie Trading Places? Can I show of hands, anybody? Look at that. Well, I was in the movie. I was standing next to Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd in the movie, and that's what I did. If you remember, they were trading orange juice, and they were shouting and screaming. Well, I was standing next to Eddie Murphy in the movie, and at the time I was still penniless. I was a clerk, but I managed to get into the pit, and that's my one and only claim to fame is being in the movie with Eddie Murphy. But a couple of years later, I ended up going into the trading pits, and I ended up being a trader of crude oil. And I didn't have any customers. I had, in effect, become a professional gambler, trading crude oil. And I was pretty good at it. From 1986 to 1999, 13 years trading crude oil. Every time I opened my mouth, I was trading for myself, buying and selling. And I did pretty good. And I was happy. But was I truly, truly living to my potential, living life aligned with my core values? And the answer to that became very clear to me in 1995. I think it was 1995. I'd been trading about 10 years. And I went to Arizona to visit my sister, and I got matched on a golf course with a gentleman. And we played the first hole, and he played rock solid, and I was pretty good. Remember, I wasn't a member of the PGA. I was probably what was known as a reverse sandbagger, in that I pretended to be better than I was because I needed to feel good. Second hole, third hole, fourth hole, he carried on playing great golf. And I was up and down, and we had a great time. He talked about being a big brother through Big Brothers Big Sisters. Anybody here been a big brother or a big sister? Do you guys, thank you for your service. I'm sure everybody's heard of Big Brothers Big Sisters. Well, by the time that round was finished, I had decided that whatever he had, I wanted, because that man was happy. And so on the plane ride back to New York City, I decided that I was going to become involved with Big Brothers Big Sisters, because I could buy that, right? So I donated money to Big Brothers Big Sisters, a few $1,000. Didn't make me very happy. No, I was joyful for doing that, but didn't do what this man had. And so I became a big brother in 1996. And I'm going to be honest with you. I was terrified. As a shut down man, not able to connect with emotions and feelings, I was a good person. I was terrified of becoming a big brother and stepping up to the plate. But I did. Never forget meeting my little brother, Lower East Side of Manhattan, latchkey kid. Went out for a slice of pizza, took him home. The next day I went into those trading pits, and I'm going to be honest with you. I stood there. I don't know whether you remember the movie, but the clock ticks as it gets to be the opening. Tick, 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 tick. And then the bell goes and everything goes crazy. Well, those 30 seconds after I fought my way into my spot, because I'd been there 10 years and this was Doug's spot, big shot trader, made lots of money. Stood into that trading pit, terrified. And you know what I was terrified about? I was terrified that somebody in that trading pit would know what I had done the night before. I was terrified that somebody in that trading pit would realize I was a vulnerable, kind person. The bell ticked, everybody went crazy, I survived the day. But you know, as time went on, I managed to share that I was a big brother. And I managed to feel the joy and the pride of being vulnerable and open. A few years later, well, within a year, I decided I had to leave the commodity exchange because I had to serve. I had to do what was aligned with my core values. And that was the genesis of SwingPals, 1996, becoming a big brother. So I could step up to the plate and I could share my story and who I am, and I can give back to the community, to children less fortunate. So Fast forward, my friends laughed hysterically. They said, "You can become a golf professional? What, are you kidding me? You can't break 100. Do I have any golfers in the room? Come on, Ray. He said, "Oh, I've got a few golfers." Mr. Renee, I know you're a golfer. So there I am. I tell my friends, I'm going to become a member of the PGA of America, and I'm going to use golf as a vehicle so I can serve kids who face adversity, and I can give them opportunity. Opportunity that I didn't have when I was a kid, the way I grew up. So there I am, 40th birthday, August 17th, 1999. I walked off the exchange just a few months later, 40 years old. And now I went to California, got married, went to California. My first job in golf was a La Costa Resort and Spa behind the counter. Started taking practicing. I took 20 PATs, player ability tests. Back then you had to take the player ability test before you could be in the PGA. It took me 4 years to pass that darn thing. My 44th birthday, August 17th, 2003, I passed it. You have 36 holes in a day. Come down to that last hole. I had about 165 yards to the flag, a little breeze in my face. So I pulled out my 3-wood. I'm kidding, I'm not kidding. I pulled out my 3-wood because there's some water in front of the green. I hit a knuckleball. That thing somehow ended on the green, and I think I 3-putted for a bogey, and I passed by 1 shot. Tears came down my face. I was going to be a member of the PGA. I had some work to do, but I was going to be a member of the PGA. A lot has changed in the last 20 years, a lot. 20, 21 years. Now I would probably use a 5-wood, right? So anyway, I became a member of the PGA. When you look at these ladies, our job, I have mixed emotions. I'm happy, I'm proud, but I'm also sad. I don't know where they are today. I hope they're still smiling. Our job is to provide an opportunity for children who have less resources, who have been underserved and oftentimes marginalized. Our job is to provide opportunity to them, and that is my life's mission. I will serve for as long as I am able to serve. I do not get paid. I have volunteered 35,000 hours in the last 12 years. When I turned 50, I wrote a check, a very large check, to create a foundation to support programs in North Carolina, and SwingPals is the big beneficiary of that. And as Mr. Beatty kindly shared, I recently created a challenge where I put up another $125,000. Our job is to provide opportunity for kids who have been marginalized. In 2012, I took the program to Durham, North Carolina, because initially the model was for kids to come to the golf course where I would give them golf lessons, and I'd find mentors to partner with them and match. It was a model that didn't work because the kids I wanted to serve couldn't get to me. So I'd have to take it into schools. I looked at middle schools in Southeast Raleigh. I looked at middle schools in Durham, North Carolina. And I had a connection at Neal Middle School. So I took into Neal. And this was my very 4 kids, my very first class at Neal in 2012. And they graduated high school in 2019. Since then, I have personally worked with 10,000 students in Durham Public Schools. Our mission, I'll let you read that. We are not a golf program. I'll say that again, we're not a golf program. We are a program whose job it is to provide young people a foundation on which they can live happy, joyful lives and access their potential. We do use golf, but we are not a golf program. Kids will get good at golf, but our job is to provide them the foundation on which they can challenge the status quo. As Mr. Beatty has said, 1%. 1% of the golf industry is African American led. It's not acceptable. History is not acceptable. We can't change it. But what we can do is come together and create programs that will make a difference. and that is what I do. So today's agenda, and I will stay on pace, I promise. I know I talked a little bit too long there with the intro.
You're okay. You're okay.
But at the end of the day, I want to get your attention. We must provide these young people the opportunity to have the skills, not to play golf. Listen, they'll get good at golf. They will get good at golf. First and foremost, priority has to be giving them the foundation on which they feel safe and on which they can challenge the status quo and challenge the adversity they face and stay in the thick of it. Stay in that adversity. Stay there and tolerate the anxiety and stress of growth and change and stand up to the societal waves of resistance to that. That is the mission of SwingPals, to create leaders in the community that will change and impact the community for the better and open opportunity for all. I'll talk a little bit about the program. I'm going to ask you how your game is. I'm going to tell you right now, you're not going to like it. I promise you, you won't like it. I'll share just a little about the philosophy and ideology and why it works. I'll talk a little about the in-school program, and then I'll wrap it up. Okay, let's see if this works. Let's see. Fingers crossed, everybody. Oh. This was CBS coverage on national TV.
All right, ladies, put a ball on the tee. Whenever you're ready, begin your process.
Students, very proud of you. That was amazing. Really, really good job.
The mission of SwingPals is to serve children who face adversity, who have very low resources. We do that through the game of golf. SwingPals came to the city of Durham in 2012, selecting Neal Middle School as our first school. Today, we work with over 1,000 Durham Public School sixth graders every year. I am very proud of the work that we are doing as the PGA is partnering with SwingPals here in the Durham community.
We're all here cheering you on.
We're in 5 Durham public schools. We really go through the basics of golf, the golf mechanics, where we really coach it in a way that's very digestible for sixth graders to understand.
Wrists, shoulders, and swing.
It feels amazing to see the love of golf growing for these students, especially the young girls.
It's something new, but the way we build them up and empower them, by the end of it, their confidence just like blossoms, and it's really fun to watch.
One of the most wonderful opportunities we have is to offer the children in the SwingPals program PGA Junior League. The partnership that we have with the PGA and the opportunity that provides SwingPals students to actually go onto the golf course and compete with each other is absolutely priceless.
Hi, my name's Leah. I'm in 12th grade and I'm a PGA Junior League golfer.
Hi, my name's Linda Natalia Williams and I'm in the 7th grade. I'm a PGA Junior League golfer.
This is not something I would have done if they didn't come to my school, but after playing, I've learned that I'm actually pretty capable, and it's just about trying.
Okay, London, can you show us a quiet mind and a quiet body? Nice.
My favorite thing about SwingPals is playing the sport.
When you love what you do and you're passionate about it, then it shows up when you're amongst your peers. So she definitely has a good time.
we're able to open up possibilities for these students that they probably didn't see for themselves. Students who have never thought of playing the game of golf now see that as a career for themselves. They're already talking about going to college.
Scholarships that the PGA of America provide through PGA Reach are going to allow us to add the remaining 4 Durham Public Middle Schools, and every child will have the opportunity to play the game of golf and learn the SwingPals skills and tools that will help them reach their potential. You guys become good at golf and you love the game of golf, but what's more important is how are you using the skills in life?
The biggest impact we have on these kids is just giving them the opportunity to empower themselves. Golf is incredible, and I'm grateful that the PGA is able to give that opportunity to more kids, more girls that look like me.
1, 2, 3, SwingPals. The SwingPals program, as I said, is based in Durham Public Schools. There are 9 middle schools in Durham. We focus in those 9 Durham Public Middle Schools. We've been asked to go to charter schools. We've been asked to go to private schools. But we will go to where the children with least resources are, and that is in the 9 Durham Public Middle Schools. We have a school-based program in 6 of the 9. And we will go into the gymnasiums, deliver 5 sessions Monday through Friday, and every 6th grade child that then wants to come to the golf course, we have 3 buses. We will take them to Hillendale Golf Course, where they will participate in the 6th grade after-school program. And then those students that are eligible for a free or reduced price lunch under federal guidelines are then able to enroll in the 7th grade program and can stay for 6 years in the after-school program. And the after-school program is based at Hillendale Golf Course in North Carolina, and that is a city-owned municipal golf course. And I'm very grateful to Kyle Kimball, past president of the Carolinas section, for opening up Hillendale Golf Course for the last 12 years, and he's never charged us one dime to run the program at Hillendale. We also have a home-based program. I am a member of the PGA. I'm also a licensed Heart Math coach. Heart Math is an organization some of you may have heard of, based in California. It's 30 years old, and they've created technology that measures an individual's ability to emotionally self-regulate and give you scientific data. And it has been independently verified over the last 20 years and published in national articles, in medical journals and national articles, proving the efficacy of Heart Math. And we use their biofeedback tools so kids can train themselves to be able to emotionally self-regulate and be mindful. And we collect data on that. And the child sees that biofeedback, and it's really fun. And there's a program called Smart Brain, Wise Heart, which is 8 units in our virtual classroom that the kids do at home. And we also engage with the families with that too. So here's the thing that jumps out. This year I'll work with 1,300 6th graders. 15% will come to the golf course, to the 6th grade program, but I can only take 50 kids into the 7th grade program when we're at capacity. So if only 50 of 1,300 kids get to stay in the after-school program, and all the 6th graders only got 5 gym sessions, what about the other 1,250 kids? And that's not acceptable, that's the end of their SwingPals journey. And so we're currently in phase 3 of SwingPals at our pilot school. Neal Middle School was the first school I went to. It's 100% free and reduced price lunch. And we're currently in phase 3. Last year, we delivered the gym sessions to the 7th and 8th grade in addition to the 6th grade at Neal. This year, we're doing the same, but we also have an elective in Durham Public Schools, a Monday elective. We call it the SwingPals Mindfulness Monday Elective. So children can continue to learn the skills that I'm about to talk about. And they're not golf skills. They're critical skills that are absolutely imperative if you are to access your potential. The vision is that every child, when they enter a Durham Public Middle School, has access to the SwingPals skills throughout 6th, 7th, and 8th grade during the school day. And then take that one step bigger. The vision is that every child has that opportunity. So, I'll let you read that. SwingPals believes every child has unlimited potential and given the opportunity, can and will unleash this potential for the greater good of their community. By doing so, they will be empowered to live happy, healthy, joyful lives and free to pursue their potential. We have developed paradigm-shifting approach to education, which eliminates the roadblocks to learning and growth. SwingPals' approach is different. Its unique methodology provides students with the tools and skills needed to build mindfulness, emotional regulation, and self-awareness. It is a process through which they can create their own safe space, and this is important, their own safe space to tolerate the anxiety of change and growth. Furthermore, every child deserves this. Every child, especially those that face adversity, have low resources, and are often marginalized. So by now you know this is not a golf program, right? It's not a golf program. As a golf professional, our job is not to stand over a child and try to tell them how to swing a golf club. And if you've ever given lessons or coached or taught, my guess is you've had that inclination to stand over a child and tell them how you think they should swing a golf club. Got a question for you. Who taught you how to walk? My guess is some of you are thinking your mom or your dad, but my guess is that some of you are absolutely aware that you taught yourself how to walk. And my guess is that you can stand up and twist and turn and walk out of here without shanking it, without falling over. Everybody learned to walk pretty darn good. And it's relatively easy for a toddler to do that because nobody's trying to tell them how to do it, and they're not cognitive yet, so they're not criticizing and beating themselves up. What if golf was coached the same way? And right now, everybody should be screaming at me saying, well, that can't happen because by the time they're 11 years old, they're thinking and they've got all these doubts and anxieties. Absolutely. So isn't our job, firstly, to help them build a foundation beneath them so they can tolerate the anxiety of starting to give up and let go of some of that doubt? When do you hit your best golf shots? Turn to the person nearest you. Come on, person nearest you. Ask them, in one word, ask them. Come on, when do you hit your best golf shots? In one word. Whoever said that beat me to my punchline. Chances are, somebody would have said when they are relaxed, focused, calm, and whatever else I put up there. Happy. But if I give you more than one word, every single one of you will, and I'm being rude, I apologize if I'm being rude. I got my coach's hat on right now. Will probably say, you hit your best golf shots when you're not thinking about it. Fair enough? Show of hands, is that true? Come on, let me see them. Every single one of you. Sir, do you play golf at the back?
Yes, sir.
Is that true for you? Yeah, well, why didn't you raise your hand? I asked you to raise your hand. Everybody answers the question the same way. I hit my best golf shots when I'm not thinking about it. So what lessons are you taking to learn how to be calm, focused, happy, excited, and not thinking about it when you step over the golf ball? Many of you will have known Pia Nilsson and Lynn Marriott, and many of you would have read their books. When I first started in golf in 2000, I used to talk about a white line. You do your thinking behind the white line, you take a breath, you step over the white line, you commit to the shot, and you hit the shot without thinking. Pia Nilsson and Lynn Marriott coined the phrase, think box, play box. And that's something which the kids absolutely love. So if anybody, and most of you are probably working with kids, think about using that terminology, think box, play box. And once you step out of that think box, there's no more thinking. You step into the play box, and here's the thing. That play box is a place where you have unlimited potential. If I ask the question in this room, who here plays golf to their potential? Miss Renee may say she did. But I wonder if she would say that. I don't know. I do know that most golfers are frustrated. And they don't get to their potential. And they don't get to their potential because they never learned the skill of letting go of control. And most golfers get over the golf ball and they're worried about the outcome. So, every coach in SwingPals is trained to be able to provide for the student the opportunity to develop those skills. In the gymnasium, we start with the 20 circles are called play boxes. And every child knows that when they're in their play box, they're physically safe, mentally, physically, and emotionally. Excuse me just 1 second. And so when you are in a play box and you step into a play box, you can learn to stay mentally, physically, and emotionally connected to the target because you're letting go of the fear of outcome. Every coach knows that our job is to provide an environment for a child to allow themselves vulnerability, to allow themselves to be open to the outcome. Every coach in SwingPals knows that we celebrate mistakes, we don't try and fix them. And every coach knows that it's the child's journey, not ours. And balancing acceptance and change. When we balance acceptance and change, you have access to that unlimited potential. And this ensures that they can build that play box. It's a mental pre-shot routine. Encourage your students to have a mental pre-shot routine. They're able to move from thinking to doing, from thinking to trusting, from thinking to letting go of outcome. We call that the mental pre-shot routine. And in Lynn Marriott's language, that's think box, play box. Very grateful to the PGA. Susie Whaley in 2020 sent out a letter to me and the other 27,999 PGA professionals, challenging us to say, what can we do to address racism, to address the challenges that are in society? And that's one of the reasons that I've been so successful in schools by using PGA Junior League, and that's thanks to Miss Susie Whaley and the PGA Junior League and PGA Reach, to whom I'm very grateful. These are some of the kids in schools. This is an educator. I do not have access to the link here because it's on my laptop, not on this laptop. But this was a leading educator in Durham Public Schools speaking at SwingPals and what we do. Let me just go back one. As I shared, we need to provide transportation. The children we serve do not have transportation. So we go to our 6 middle schools, we pick up the students, we bring them to us, and then we transport them afterwards. We have to provide access. On the golf course, as I wrap up, on the golf course, has anybody tried to, no, let me back up. On the golf course, our job is to let the student learn how to walk. On the golf course, the only job we have as coaches is keeping them safe and introducing them to that mental pre-shot routine where they learn the skill of going from thinking to doing. At no time on the golf course will we try to fix the golf swing or address a swing mechanic. The only thing we do on the golf course is reinforce the student's ability to go from thinking to doing, from thinking to letting go. We save the coaching of mechanics. I don't like the word, but we save the coaching of mechanics for the driving range. I come back to this slide in closing. Our job is to ensure that every child that lacks resources and faces adversity has the opportunity to go from childhood to adulthood and lead happy, healthy, and joyful lives. Our promise: we will deliver programming in Durham Public Schools during the school day when they enter middle school to every child. We will first and foremost focus on emotional regulation, mindfulness, and self-awareness, because that is where growth is. It's not in helping them how to swing a golf club. They will do that. That will happen. Firstly, let them build that foundation. Light that fire of desire. And that comes from when we respect that it's their golf game, it's not ours. Light the fire of desire. Provide a safe space and give them access. And we will be adding workforce development to our high school program. If you wish to help, that's my contact information, or you can just scan that barcode. Please drop me a note. Just drop me a note. This is hard work in the trenches. I personally have worked with 10,000 students. I look them in the eye and I let them know I care about them. And I am forever grateful that I became a big brother in 1996. So I have that opportunity to be present for children. And I'm very grateful to Mr. Beatty and to everybody in this room for allowing me to share SwingPals with you and the work that we do. So thank you.
One question.
Disclaimer here, Doug. I grew up at this golf course, Hillendale Golf Course in Durham, North Carolina. And I think a lot of what has transpired with this program is moved this further. And Doug didn't mention this, but the city of Durham understood the educational value of this, and they've put in nearly $1 million this year. And the practice facility, mainly because of Doug's program, is going to be tripled in size. It's going to be able to have proper drainage. They're going to move the putting green. And so the city understood the value of not it recreationally or golf, but understood its educational value, and therefore they're investing in the facility. So that's
Thank you.
quite the accomplishment. So
Well, I appreciate that.
cheer you on for that.
Thank you, thank you. I'll just add to that. That's almost $1 million that the city of Durham approved to allow us to bring more underserved kids to Hillendale. But in addition to that, 2 years ago, Mr. Beatty embarrassed me by saying that I was matching $125,000 currently. I am. But 2 years ago, I put up $125,000 matched donors, and I raised $250,000 for us to build a building on the expanded driving range. So we have $250,000, but the building is $750,000. And so I'm about to step into my second round of fundraising to make sure that we raise that. At the end of the day, our job is to provide an environment for kids to keep those smiles on their faces and to get to that potential. And I appreciate that, and I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Outstanding. Doug, thank you very much.